Alright, so this is my first attempt at doing a live Facebook video, so please bear with me. Not a live, live YouTube video. I'm so used to dealing with Facebook. So I'm gonna do just a basic drawing tutorial. I've talked to a lot of people that have seen my artwork and said they wish they could draw like me, and saying, you know, my response to anybody who says they wish they could draw is, well, you can. It's just a matter of picking up a pencil and putting it on the paper. My favorite response for people favorite response that I get from people like that is, I can't even draw a straight line. Well, guess what? 99% of the time, you're not going to be drawing straight lines when it comes to, pretty much anything you're drawing. So a couple things I've got here. What I'm going to be doing is just doing a very simple charcoal sketch of a sphere, just to give you an idea of, how to do all this kind of stuff. So of course, charcoal, you've got these blocks right here that are, just solid black things. Thing about these is they get extremely messy. You work with them enough and you start getting like black on your fingers, and not very fun. It's a lot of cleanup. So what we got here, this is a charcoal pencil that they sell. Now, got that. Then we got a blending stump. Here we've got a chamois, which is again for blending, making shadows and things like that. Obviously pencil sharpener here, something to catch your shavings, and your eraser. I've also got this little guy here sitting off to the side, but we're not going to use him today because we're not drawing the human figure this time. Like I said, so we're going to just draw a simple sphere, showing the shadows and stuff like that. And now drawing circles, obviously you can try and freehand circles, but if you wanted to get a correct circle, you can use something like a compass, like this. But for me, today, I'm just going to use a stencil. Simple enough. First thing I'm going to do is get that thing nice and sharp, because as you can see, it's pretty dull. So, like I said, something to catch your pencil shavings, because these things, it gets messy. So I'm going to be doing this. And for anybody who doesn't know, I've been drawing since I was about 8 years old. So, if you've seen my artwork and you feel insecure about it, don't, because that's 32 years worth of practice under my belt. And yes, I call it 32 years worth of practice because, let's face it, we're always learning something new. You can always improve and things like that. So, like I said, we're just gonna use the stencil to draw out the basic shape. And so, of course, that's how you draw a circle. Simple. Drawing a sphere, you obviously need to create texture, shadows, things like that to show that it's round. So obviously you need to show where the light source is coming from. Now, in this case, the light source is coming from up here. So just for, sake of continuity, let's just pretend that's the light source right there. So the light's coming from this direction. That means the shadows are all going to be over here. It's going to be darkest on this side. Now, obviously with this, this is where that whole elementary school coloring inside the lines comes into play. But obviously, sometimes you're going to make mistakes. That's perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. Just go with it. That's what your eraser's for, if you absolutely need to use it. It's a good idea to start light, really, and then go darker as you go. I know I said that and over here it's really dark, but that's because I know that's where the least amount of light is going to be hitting it, so I don't mind going a little dark over there. And then it's just a matter of drawing little circles here. Now, a lot of there's a lot of little lines and stuff like that that are showing up because of the sharpness of the charcoal, and that's perfectly fine. You're gonna blend all this anyways. Now you can, like I said, you can do this with the solid charcoal. It's fine. In fact, whenever I'm doing a drawing and I need to darken in a lot of space really quickly, I tend to use this. It's a little bit easier because of the fact that you can cover a much larger area with that. So it works. It's perfectly fine. Just obviously, like I said, be prepared to make a mess, especially when your fingers accidentally rub against all this, especially when you're doing a whole page. A drawing that's that big, you're gonna have to go up here and do stuff after you've already drawn all here, so your hand is gonna be accidentally resting against it. The other problem with that, the other thing you gotta worry about with doing that is, well, you're then smudging all the stuff you've done over here. So another thing to remember, typically speaking, if you're doing a huge drawing, like a full page drawing in charcoal, you want to make sure that you do as much as you can from the top left down to the bottom right. If you're right-handed, obviously if you're left-handed, you're going to do the exact opposites. That way you're not smudging what you've already drawn as best as you can. So we've got a pretty good base of the shadows here on the sphere itself. So now we're going to do a little bit of a shadow here. And there's obviously going to be a little bit of shadow coming out this direction too. Okay. And we're going to darken this in a lot right in the center there, because that's where the most shadow is going to be, is right in there. Okay, and maybe a little darker right there at the base of the sphere. Okay, and then coming out a little bit here. Now, like I said, this kind of ties back. If you notice the way I'm doing everything, I'm going a lot in circles like this. That ties right in with what I was talking about, where I said that people are always telling me I can't even draw a straight line. Well, 99% of the time you're not gonna be. So you're perfectly good. Just need to pick up that pencil or charcoal in this case and put it on the paper. Start drawing. People are always saying, well, I don't even know how to draw a stick figure. Or the best I can do is draw a stick figure. Well, guess what? I've been drawing since I was 8 years old, and guess what my first drawings were? Stick figures. So now, I'm gonna do a little bit of blending. This is where your blending stump comes in. So you're gonna start here and just use that to blend all this in. You always, again, you want to start with the darkest part and work your way inward. Again, little circles here. You're not going to be doing a lot of straight lines. A lot of tiny little circles here. Get that shadowing just right. Biggest thing you're doing here is you're just removing the lines, the marks of the pencil or charcoal, and getting it to where it's nice and smooth, creating that texture. So it doesn't quite look like a charcoal drawing. It just looks like a sphere, just like you want it. Just keep going till you get to where the center of the light source is. The brightest part right about there. Now, interestingly enough, you'll notice here, I'm not even using the part that I've drawn on. This was all solid white. This wasn't even touched. What's going on is that I've got so much on the end of this blending stump that I'm using that almost like my pencil. And if it gets to the point where you don't want that, where you want this to be, you know, just a little more clean, you don't want it making marks like that. What you do is you get one of these here. This is sandpaper, and you use this to sharpen that and get rid of all that excess black. You know, but that's not what I'm trying to do right now. So for now, let's just keep on blending here. Keep smoothing this out till we've got a pretty good blend of the color. And then do the same down here. The other thing, of course, you can use is this, which is your chamois, otherwise known as a dirty rag, piece of cloth, whatever. And just same thing. Little circles. Just drag that shadow out. Doesn't take much. All you do is just drag that out like that. Little touches here, make little tiny smudges, and create this nice blended shadow effect. And obviously, you know, when you get to where you're making marks you don't want to, or you're not getting the right smudge or something like that, just go to a clean part and do what you're doing. You know, do the same thing. I feel like this might need to be a little darker here. I'm just nitpicking, but you know. That's all it takes, really, just to get your basic idea of how to draw a sphere using charcoal. That's all it takes. It's pretty simple. Like I said, you know, it doesn't take a lot to learn to draw. Just, you know, pick up your pencil, put it to paper, practice, practice, practice. This is 38 years worth of practice in my case, and that's how you get to the point where you can do much more complicated stuff. That's one of the basic things. Then you get to doing more complicated ideas like that. It all starts from learning to do the basics and then proceeding from there. So thanks a lot. Maybe I'll do some more of these later. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more. If you liked it, hit the like button and please subscribe. Thanks.